think he's even been allowed to just cry over just like not necessarily. It doesn't have to be like like big things. Like for example, like you know, uh, what you said about the whole soft life and black woman narrative. Like, for example, the strong black woman narrative wouldn't allow you to cry about, or because you can't somehow prepare iron your son's school uniform.
Yeah,
It's stressing you out,
it's
but
so
like what you crying about uniform, like you crying about uniform,
it's because
but
it's so mad. It's because we're so. It's like we know the struggles of certain things. So it's like I guess it was a thing that was done in a way of like there's so much more bigger things happening. So what's the point in crying over a school
yeah,
uniform?
yeah.
But
But you
now it's
should be
like,
allowed to though,
but
if it's
yeah,
you know what I'm
it's
trying to say.
because even what I saw, like it was this state when I saw it was like a breakthrough for me. I saw this white lady and she done this thing called what do you call it? Um, all in, yeah, in exercise,
What
and
was
it's
it?
like
Was that
something where
no? I don't think I heard of
she
that.
was she's so slim
Yeah.
that they told her that you just eat anything you want, eat everything and anything to basically get her metabolism back to normal. So she started eating everything and anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is on her choice because she wants to get her metabolism back. So she put on so much weight. Yeah. It wasn't so much, but she compared to what she was. So she was like a size 4
Yeah.
and now she's a size 12. Yeah. So she had put on a lot of weight. And then she was just like at home and she was talking to camera because she's vlogging and she's crying. And then her boyfriend came in and then was like, babe, why are you crying? And she was like, I just have put on so much weight. And he was like, listen, it's fine. And I was like,
What?
what? Number one, you did this to yourself. Like, if it was anyone I know, they'll be like, any man that I spoke to, they'll be like, what are you crying for? Like, hey, this is what you wanted to do. It would be like, just come on, stop being silly. But he was so attentive, like, and just like, babe, I'm here for you. And I was like, here for her for what?
Yeah. But see, even with that though, but then that's even makes me think because how would you then find that balance between not like over wrapping someone in cotton wool to the point where like you are actually being showing some sort of empathy? Because the thing is, if you take it as you're allowing people to cry or be sad about many things, people might think we're taking the extreme now. We've been a bit too, well, maybe we're overcompensating for this, trying to dry down this strong black woman narrative. Do you know what I mean? So how would you like? How can we find the balance and not?
I think pain is relative, isn't it? So it's not that you have to put someone in cotton wool. You can still say the same things, but it's just the way you're saying it. Do you get it? So if someone was crying and you felt like that was not really a reason to cry, you can still be like, oh, what's making you feel so sad? Like, oh, it's the ironing of the clothes, for example. And it's like, I just feel okay, but there's gonna be like you just the way you say it, the way you would speak to that sort of. Do you get what I mean? I think that's the issue because I feel like what the issue is that. So if a white woman was just crying, you'd be thinking, oh, she's just being emotional. But when it's a black woman, it's like, why are you doing? But no, we have emotions. We get sad. We feel that like we don't, but we sometimes have to just mask it because we've been taught that no, like you don't do all of like you have to be a strong black woman.
There's another example. So probably when I was playing football with a couple of friends, and obviously, obviously football, there's a lot of tackling.
Yeah.
People can be a bit aggressive. So got to be a bit tough, because in that environment, if you show any sort of, I don't know, weakness, they might think, oh, this guy is too easy to get, so I'm gonna kick him again and see what he does. And a lot of things have definitely happened in the past. Like, don't get me wrong, there's been fights, punches, but obviously, I think when you're in that environment, it kind of just toughens you a bit, like you can still be calm and obviously be respectful, but I think everyone's different. So
Yeah, like I don't know, it's man. I think ultimately as we get older, of course, you said when you were younger, you didn't know your mom's mental health because maybe not that it was your job to ask, but again, they just wanted some of us, most of our parents wanted us to shield us from a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like because they don't want to, make us like maybe overexposed to certain things and want us to make sure we're having a good life, and that's commendable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I would not to say that I don't think my mom's I don't know if she did have any mental health issues because I just never saw her like as a weak woman, innit? Do you know what I mean? You know, I never even saw my mum in pain apart from one time. So I've always seen my mum as this kind of like, not superhero, but she's that kind of like, oh, it's my mum's strong, man.
But do you feel like because you saw that as well, that's what you expect from the person you're going to be with? Because I feel like that's what happens.
I'm not gonna, but not in a manner. But I mean I want it because I see that as a good quality. Like, you know, I was raised by a lot of strong women, but I think it's just learning now that listen, like, yeah, you're raised by strong women, but they can be vulnerable too. But it doesn't take away from their
strength. Yeah. I think that's the key of like the different of what strong is, like, because even if I was even though I was rolling on the floor by the end when I was pregnant, but even if I was it's like that doesn't mean I'm not strong.
Yeah,
I'm just in pain. Do you get it? So I think, but it's almost like no. But if you let me tell someone, oh yeah, I didn't have an epidural, it's like, yeah, but then what a woman that does, she's not strong. It's not that. It's just,
or even like again, I don't even like C-section.
yeah,
that doesn't take away doesn't take away anything. Or I'm talking like I know this, so I'm just. But even like C-section, even like again like post. What's it?
sorry, I got.
No, sorry. Post. Is it post?
Is you a rapper?
No. Sorry, it's the time. No, I mean postpartum.
Oh yeah.
What am I talking about?
No. It's me. I should have clarified. So even like no. Sorry, not postpartum. That's something else. That's
Postpartum depression.
No, I'm getting it mixed up. Is it is it postnatal? Postnatal depression. That's it. That's the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how did you did you
I think I had
suffer from that?
I think I had a little bit of it, but I don't think I understood it because again, the strong black woman. So I didn't want to say it, or not say it, but sorry,
It's okay.
I did feel kind of like funny to say that, oh, like I'm struggling in that area because it's like that of that. I obviously when I'm going for, I'm not thinking of the strong black woman narrative, but it's almost like you get on with it, saying something like, oh no, but this is a lot. That's a bit of but look how much people do it. Do you understand?
Yeah. But they say that postnatal is common, isn't it?
Very common.
Like, but then is it? I don't know. Yeah. So when you experienced it, what was it like? Was it just you not happy with yourself? Like, what was what was it? What was your experience of it?
The beginning for me, it was like the transition. I always say that, like, I felt like this is just how I felt, but I was like, people just lie. That's how I felt. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I feel like being a parent.
Let's see if we can get you some water.
No, it's okay. I feel like being a parent is such a.
Wait, sorry. If you move it closer.
This way.
Yeah.
Being a parent is such like a life-changing thing. There's before you have a baby and unless you have a baby, and your whole life changes. Your body changes.
See, I thought you were gonna say after there.
Huh?
How come you didn't say after?
What do you mean?
As in, I thought you were gonna say before and after you have a baby.
Yeah, I feel like you're basically when I say that, it's like me and Carl used to say this thing. It'll be like you're never gonna. There's no like you know, like when it's like, oh, I want to go. You can't get back to that person.
Okay.
I'm never gonna be Cassandra before I had a baby. Do you get it?
Okay.
My life will never feel like that again because you actually change your mindset. I was only thinking about me. I feel like I was very selfish before I had Lion. Now my mind, like even now, it would be like Lion's there always.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. So you know when your mum's like, "Don't give me high," but it's because you're always on her mind. Like you are always on her. Like the moment she's thinking, "Oh, is he okay?" Like that's just how we, as a parent, I just think that's how you live your life. So going into having Lion, I don't think I didn't understand all. I'm like, I don't know who can prep you for it, but I feel like, especially seeing social media and online, it's all like, oh, my baby, and then this cute clothes, and then, oh, it's so cute, and that's it. And that's what I kind of saw. Not like, oh my gosh, getting your baby to latch, like breastfeeding and how you just feel like a cow, like 24/7, and you just have to just deal with it, and you're not going to sleep. And you're tired, and then you have to like do your hair and smile, but you just like it's just so much going on mentally.
You can't switch. Even that you can't switch off. But I know you said earlier, obviously you do like is therapy part of the things I would say. Obviously, like I said, you can't switch off, but is therapy for you a way to deal with not being able to switch off?
I think it's in the not switching off. Obviously, now I feel like another thing is obviously when I first had my son, in your head, people always say, "Oh, it goes so fast."
Mm.
Yeah, but when you first have a child, that's just your experience.
Yeah.
So whatever's happening then is your experience. So a baby is crying a lot. Not all babies cry as much, but Lion had colic, so he didn't want to be put
Had
down.
what?
Colic. It's like I don't even know exactly what it is, but it's like a wind kind of thing that babies have, but
Yeah.
it's really hard to put them down. They always want to be in your hand.
Oh,
He used to always
Okay.
have something that he would like vomit and it would come through his nose,
Oh wow.
but that could choke. In my head, I thought he could choke.
Yeah.
And what if, so I would constantly be awake. I couldn't sleep because I'd be thinking, oh, what if he chokes? So I'd be like looking at him. So I didn't really get sleep. So I think that was a huge factor of the like postnatal. It was like, I just felt like this is a lot. Like when do you get to be Cass again? But I would, like that old Cass, but I'm not no longer that old Cass. And it was that like breakdown in my mind of like, oh my gosh, I'm no longer old Cass. My body's changed. I'm a cat. Like I said, I felt like I was a cow, like I was just breastfeeding, but not understanding that it's all these things are just seasons. So I'm not going to be breastfeeding forever. They get older. He goes nursery. Like now, it's my mind is not, do you get it? So I feel like I understand that more. But whereas when you have a baby, that baby needs you. So you can't, it's not like, obviously you can go to his dad and stuff, but it's just that beginning bit was a lot. It was really tough. And then the thing of, oh, like, I can't really go out like that because I'm a mum, and I can't do this because I'm a mum, and I can't do that. And even though I would want to, I was obviously, before I had Lion, I was already doing social media.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, how am I going to do the like events with a baby? Like I was trying to get like, it's like my life felt like it was on hold. And even though you want to, like, I was that person that was like, oh no, I'm going to be doing everything. Like I'm going to have a baby, he's going to come with me. But the reality of that is completely different to what you think in your head of about having a child. Like, yeah, I can want to do events, but then there's going to be times where Lion is just crying and now I have to tend to Lion and his needs. I can't carry on.
Yeah, I can't be taking a photo. The baby's in the back crying. You know?
Do you get what
He's
I'm
out
saying?
there taking the selfie. Like.
So it was like the life that I'd known it had to change.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to get my head around that. Like, oh, so like I'd be at church and obviously I led a girls group then.
Yeah.
And that'd be every Thursday, but then Lion's tired and he's crying and he needs to be at home and then I'd be like, oh, but so it was like, oh my gosh, I have to adjust. And that first adjustment, it was a lot to handle in my, like mentally, like, oh, okay, I can't. But now, 3.5, nearly 4 years on, I'm happy to adjust. I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna be that old Cass. But at the beginning, it's like you're at a fight with the old Cass and then the new one, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's you almost like trying to find that balance. And I know we mentioned that social media. So like, how did you like bring in motherhood into social media? So when I say that, I don't mean like, of course, I mean in the sense where how do you manage to still do the social media stuff, but also, I guess, yeah, how did you like represent that in your, I would say I want to say, I don't know if work is the right word to use. But yeah, how did you kind of bring
I
it
think
into your work?
I realized quickly that I have to kind of incorporate being a mum into what I'm doing, because I felt like I couldn't really, maybe, especially in the beginning, I couldn't be asked. Other mums are different to like get dressed up, do makeup, and do all the other stuff that I had to do as like being a mum. So I just incorporate. I would talk about this stuff in my content. So I'll talk about the fact that, oh my gosh, I just feel like a cow. Like, and then someone would be like, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. Everyone, because like maybe you're seeing mums like with their breastfeeding videos and showing all the milk that they're producing, but then there's some mums who they're not producing milk right now because their body's not maybe reacting to the baby properly and stuff, and they're stressing because they're feeling like they're a failure. But then I'd put up something out like, I just feel like a cow, and I don't know, today it was so, and then someone would be like, oh, thank you, if that makes sense. So I feel like I just kind of started to be honest with my journey, or oh, I'm at home, I'm like, everyone's out and I'm at home and Lion's crying and I want to be out. Like, I'll just be real. Like, I was really real. Like, I was just honest.
No,
like,
I rate that, man.
Or like, I would get like, it would be like, I don't know, especially with like, there's a lot of mum shamers. Like, I'll do something maybe wrong, and it'll be like, oh, Cassandra, like, you're not supposed to. And I'll be like, oh, thanks for letting me know, because I didn't know. Like, who has a book on motherhood? Like, you don't. You just are trying to get it. So I feel like I was just honest with stuff like that, and people liked it.
I think that's always the best one. 'Cause even sometimes I feel like, again, not like even when even like with our podcast, yeah. I don't remember I said to Ben that I feel like we just have to just be ourselves. It's not like we're doing grief about, oh, this is the rosy side of grief. Like, you know, you only cry after the thing, you cry once and that's it. You never cry again. Listen, like, and I think sometimes, I said to him, that's the only way I feel like we can only work if we just be honest with our grief. Like, and what's mad, by doing that, so much stuff has come from it. We've met so many people over the past 2 years. Like, even done things where we've been to events. We've like even the book, like so many different things. Like even okay, I'm kind of plugging us now a bit still. Even like, you know, when we was in our feature in the Sunday Times, so amazing. And it's like, I didn't, you know, when they say when we started, I didn't expect any of that. Actually, true. I know it's a cliche, but legit, we just thought we're gonna just come on the podcast and talk about our grief. You know, so whether that's like, oh, you know, like how it was when we were at the funeral, what we felt like when we found out the news. There's many different like topics in it, and through that we spoke to so many different people, and we spoke about their journey. So like literally, I'm so glad that we met, and we can just be authentic, even though like, and that's why I feel like, again, not everyone might not be able to relate, but that's okay. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's fine.
Because when it comes to grief, I don't think you can ever sugarcoat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even when you post it on social media, because you realize this is the real thing that's going on. So it's something that we won't be able to hide. It's like people will be able to relate that are probably going through it. You know, that's why you know, a lot of people, some are listening because they want insight or they want knowledge, you know.
And that's not to say we're experts on grief as well. I always want to add that, because, you know, like, we're not saying that, yeah, we talk about it and we can because of our experience in it, but we're just talking from our point of view. Like, someone, I have no problem if someone says, oh, this is wrong. Like, I'm always happy to listen and learn from people. And even people, even like today, obviously we're not parents, but we're learning about motherhood and how your mental health is shaped through that. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's never a thing where we want to be like, oh yeah, we're just the guys when it comes to grief. Like, we know everything. Nah, like, I want, you know, we hear people's stories, but like, I think, yeah, just being yourself is important. And I feel like in this day and age of social media, one good thing I can say, there's a lot more I would say content around people just being authentic and not sugarcoating stuff. Of course, sometimes you got to do some stuff for business purposes. I get it. You know what I'm trying to say? You might have an ad, but like, listen, you need to just say a few lines and just do that. I mean, secure the, you know, bag. But I feel like for the most part, just be yourself. Like, if you know you're not right now, you're not happy, and you're posting to pretend you're happy, just don't bother. I can never do it. Whenever I'm going through something, social media, I don't pretend. I'll just leave it and come back when I'm good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's never a thing of like, you know, especially like we see it a lot, even like with breakups and stuff. People are like, oh yeah, I'm out having fun, but a man knows deep down he's hurting.
He's hurting.
I can't do that. I'd rather just be hurt. Just do what, just literally just be in that moment of hurt, yeah, behind closed doors, because you be feeling, you pretend, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm good, man. Like, where we going? What we doing? But I know whether I'm in a bar or club, I know I'm burning inside. It's long. You don't want to be there. I'll tell you, like, it's actually long. And I remember one time when I did that, I was like, you know what? Right now, I don't even know why I'm here. Like, but I know it was a burden, so I'd rather just go away inside and come back, and then be better, rather than trying to, oh yeah, pretending that I'm okay. Nah, man.
Take a detox.
Yeah, just take it. Yeah, take that detox, because you don't have to pretend, man. Like, you know, I guess, I mean, there's levels of transparency. I mean, you ain't gonna tell your life story, but you just share what you want to share. But yeah, we've always like proud ourselves, and I think, like, even I was saying to you, I think I asked you, like, why is it you seem very like adaptable? I guess maybe obviously from the outside looking in, because you're always authentic. Like, no one can say, oh, like, Josh is doing that. And I feel like sometimes, yeah, people, not everyone can wants to share their story, and some will criticize, oh, maybe you're sharing too much,
oversharing.
Too much. But the thing is, the problem is that that will come with the territory, because you know why you're sharing certain things. It's not for any particular like sensationalism or to get this traction or that traction. You know, it's you're doing it. You know, like, and I feel like sometimes people need to be exposed to authentic things, man. And like you said, oh, I'm not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's feeling crappy about, you said breastfeeding. Oh, right, you too.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
need that. You need that. Oh, you too.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. She gave birth 6 weeks ago. How is she doing? Listen, deep down inside, she needs help.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to pretend. And I think going back to strong black woman narrative, it's okay, man. We all need, as men, we need help. As women, we need help.
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, you need help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no point pretending to do it. And if again, now I know, okay, what the whole soft life thing now. I know now, but I didn't.
Yeah, understand it now.
Yeah, so I wasn't against it. Yeah. So now I understand that I get it. Everyone should be able to want that for themselves. I don't know if I hear men say it as well, but this whole soft life
I don't
thing.
know if I've heard a
But
man say it.
listen, but that could look like it's all relative, innit? What that looks
Mhm.
like to you. But we should all like want it and not feel type of way, or like you said, even if you cry over the most mediocre thing, it's fine, man. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what you need to keep telling yourself. 'Cause I think it's always the little things,
Yeah.
and you don't want. I don't know. I think I don't know if we see like a lot of the time with. Well, I've seen a lot of the time in news stories about mothers struggling, and but this is a bit extreme, and that they've like abandoned their baby, like
That's
and
the like high level of like postnatal. I
yeah,
think it's called postnatal. I hope I'm saying the right term, but yeah, when they start to like forget things, or like mothers that leave their babies in cars and stuff.
Hmm?
Like, yeah,
That's all part of postnatal.
yeah. It's like I feel like let me not say it's postnatal. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me and then say, oh, Cass, you're talking. But it's like when I don't. Yeah, it's like like when they're really depressed and they actually just like they don't go prison for it because they actually just forget that they have a
Mm.
child and then think they took the child to the nursery, but they left the child in that happens.
Yeah, because the reason why I brought it up because I remember actually a story of this young girl. She was very young, like 18-year-old. She I think her baby died actually because she left her baby for like 2 days. I think she went to
Oh,
like a party or something.
yeah, that one. I think that she went to prison though. She's going
Oh,
to
she's in
prison.
prison.
I think she's
You,
going. She
you
went.
think that
She
was
got.
postnatal though? Or not postnatal, but some sort of
No, the baby
mental health.
wasn't that young. It was definitely mental health though. The baby
But
wasn't. I
then,
think the baby was older than like. Actually, they say you can have postnatal up to 5. I don't know how the baby was. I think they say to 5.
obviously you don't have to share your particular views on that. But like, if it is mental health, that should be. I'm not. That should be. It's not fine because the baby someone died. It's not. It's
Someone
never
died.
fine in it.
Yeah.
But like, as in, I guess maybe rather than prison, maybe like a
I think
I don't
now
know.
understanding. Obviously, I feel like I have grace for everybody because I'm just that sort of person. But I feel like having a child at I think I was 29 when I had Lion, and how hard it was for me
Yeah.
when people would say, "Oh, but you're 29 though. You're old enough." Do you get it?
Or enough to take the pain.
As in, no, not the pain. As in, have a baby and
Oh right, okay.
you're a certain age, and I was married at the time. Like but I found it so hard. So when I hear like my mom had her first child at 16. Well,
Okay.
she got pregnant at 16. She had my brother at 17.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how? Like in my head, I'm like, when I hear about these young girls who do things that, like, it's like people will be like, how could they ever do such a thing? I'm like, I just can have a certain level of understanding that they're so mentally young that, and the way I felt going through having a child, I don't even know how sometimes they feel. So I can understand. I just feel like when it comes, now that we're talking about mental health more, it's really good because at 16 to have a child, someone being like, oh, it sounds so crazy what she did, but I'm like, she mentally must have been in the worst place ever to do such a thing, because you're not going to do that in a sound mind. Leave your child for 2 days.
But do you know what is? I feel like with when it comes to pregnancy, there's a lot of focus on the biology. So like in terms of, for example, yeah, when a woman becomes of a child rearing age, so like yeah, biologically she can have a child. She's of a I don't know if there's a specific biological age, but let's just say for argument's sake, when a woman hits her mid-20s, she's of um a child rearing age.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm not saying this is gospel or fact, yeah, but this is what my kind of 2 pence. I feel like because there's so much biology focus on that she can have a child biologically, then there's no thing of okay, but what about mentally though? Yeah, she may be able to biologically have a child, but mentally, is she prepared to?
Mm-hmm.
Is she prepared to go
Where is
through?
she mentally? Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And of course, it may not help. That so doing it alone might be even harder with a lack of support. But even with support, I'm sure there's people still get postnatal in relationships.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, it's not really postnatal. Like I said, I don't want to go because I don't know the facts of
Yeah.
everything, but it's not exactly anything to do with like, oh, but she had like, it's not about, it's anyone can get put. Do you get
Yeah.
it? You could have a husband, be rich. Like it's like postnatal depression can just come. It's just something that some mothers just get.
Yeah,
That makes sense. So
like like what would you like if you had to? Someone said to you, look, right, Cassandra, I want you to make a starter pack or a care package for someone who's about to give birth. So like, but that care package is more so to help them like cope with their mental health during that. What would like say you had to put together like 4 things? It can be objects or some sort of services to put together, and that you feel will be a good aid to help them mentally through that transition or through that process really of pregnancy, and even then after post pregnancy.
I think during pregnancy, I feel like now, to be honest, we've got a lot more stuff than probably, like I said, our parents, because we've got the internet. So the internet has been helpful in terms of you can go on the internet and see people that are prepared. Like there's so many different like vlogs, books, like you can audio books that you can read in terms of like becoming a new parent. I don't think nothing can really prepare you for being a parent, but maybe I'd say a 24-hour support line for mothers. Someone that you can call even as like just be like, oh, I'm feeling scared about this, and then someone could just talk to you and be like, okay, that's normal, and this and yes, and this changes, or because I feel like there's a lot of changes and Google becomes your best friend, but Dr. Google sometimes is very scary.
There's Dr. Google.
I call him Dr. Google.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I think
Why
there's
do
a
you call him
separate
Dr. Google?
Because I feel like when you're pregnant, every little thing you feel, like you Google it, and then Dr. Google is gonna tell you the worst case scenario usually.
Listen, if you're sick, never. I always get tongue tied when I say Google. My friend always say I say it wrong. I say weird, and I say Google.
Yeah.
I say it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Google, yeah. Whenever you're sick or nothing, never Google what your symptoms are, because you will find so much stuff. You think, oh my gosh, is this me?
Do you
I
understand?
had a headache too. I had aches too. Shit.
Do you understand?
Especially Mayo Clinic.
Oh
they're
my
probably the
days.
worst
Mayo
offenders.
Clinic. Oh my
Hey.
gosh, you've got
Worst offenders.
this level of like.
Hey, and there's another one called WebMD. Is it WebMD?
WebMD.
Hey,
Oh, bloody heck. Look.
You start to be paranoid.
Do you understand?
right?
So when you're like, especially first time mum, and you are feeling little things that is absolutely normal as a pregnant woman at that like, but you'll be like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? So just have a 24-hour helpline that I could call and get through really quickly and be like, and they're like, oh no. It's like all mum, and they're all mums and they know, and they've had like 10 babies or something. But yeah, that would be perfect. I think maybe even like, I know they do like that birthing thing, like what is it called? Because I didn't get
Water births. No?
I didn't even get to go. No, where you go like prenatal classes kind of thing.
Oh yeah, but I don't know, baby class. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah,
Baby
so
class.
I didn't really get to go, so I can't. But I don't know. I can't really talk about what's in them. But I feel like it's getting you ready for birth.
Yeah.
But I think something that gets you ready to be a mum, not in the sense of, because being a mum is, but in terms of your mentally, like, your life is changing, but just understand that this is not everything. How you feel at first is not always how you're gonna feel.
Yeah.
And it's gonna, like, the hardest times, like when the baby's crying for hours and hours and hours sometimes, that's not gonna be forever. Babies are babies they become toddlers after a certain age, and it's just that getting that drummed into your mind. I think that would be good. a package that comes with like a pregnancy pillow. Like I think that should be on the NHS.
Or it's like a fluffy, just like a
Like a
fluffy
pillow that mothers can lay on, and yeah, like just like a package that comes with all the stuff that you need as like a growing a baby in your belly.
Yeah, I think that should be the starter pack. The title of the starter pack should be how do you mentally prepare for motherhood?
Yeah.
Like because of again, like it's like I can imagine it's a blessing bringing a child. It's exciting. Like I'm trying to say, you have a little you that you've brought that you want to raise to be a good person. You know, like bring up with your values and stuff like that. You know, but then mental health, man,
It's a lot.
you can want all that and do your best, but you have to always look after your mental health, man.
And I think probably the last one would be getting like therapy beforehand for at least like through the duration of your pregnancy, in terms of I feel like to heal your childhood traumas, so you're not gonna go now give that to your child while you're healing yourself while trying to heal. Like a child is a whiteboard. That's how I always say. I'm like, Lion is a whiteboard. He comes with nothing. He's like, I didn't realize how much our parents, like I know sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if sometimes you think, oh yeah, that was just your fault or that's just how you were. Like we literally are, like Lion asks me everything. I make things he likes. I know that it's because of me. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like not everything. Like obviously there's certain things like, okay, for example, sharks. He loves sharks.
He loves sharks?
He loves sharks. That's his favorite thing. But I've nurtured that.
He's braver than me.
But I've nurtured that. So I buy him the book.
Wait, do you love sharks?
No. But I'm saying that he's watching.
Oh, okay, not actual shark.
Sharks though.
Obviously not real sharks. Like I'm thinking like you.
No, he likes real sharks. But he doesn't.
He hasn't seen one.
No. Probably like in a tank. But I'm saying he like will say, for example, there was one time I think I was watching like, I don't even know what I was watching. I think I was watching like you know, like
David
I like
Attenborough.
yeah, I like stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And I was watching it, and he just fell in love with the sharks.
So
from there, I've cultivated that. But I'm like, majority of things, like the way we talk, it's like that's all been put in him through even other people. Like maybe he's gone somewhere and someone's spoken and then he's picked it up. But it's like he's a clear whiteboard.
Yeah.
And everything I do, where I send him, where I take, is what is making him him. So sometimes, especially if you've gone through certain childhood stuff and you don't like, yeah, I'm like learning how to be from, if you didn't have the greatest of upbringings and examples, you're just kind of doing it.
Yeah, like you're repeating cycles and, you know,
yeah.
like it's kind of a bit of it reminds me of our episode when we talk about broken homes and stuff. And just like, you know, like being from a certain environment. So you might be prone to, you know, for example, maybe be on the estate because at home, your mom's working all the time, so no one's at home. So you're influenced more so by the people in the street, and then you develop certain habits. And then you now have a child now, because you haven't really dealt with those bad habits, toxic habits. You know, you pass down to the child, and then the cycle just keeps repeating itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think those things are, but it's a hard thing to do. To really look at yourself like, what are my toxic traits? What do I need to unlearn? You know, I think it's like a mental a mental audit. You just look at yourself. Okay, what do I need to change? And sometimes, like, you know, it's hard to ask yourself that question, like, because you might feel like, right, I'm actually, why do I think this way? Why do I think like this? Why do I need to unlearn this? You know, because you know, it's all good like having a child. Yeah, you know, you look good on the gram, the baby shower, like, you know, I'm trying to say all of that.
Baby shower's lit.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like you did a gender, like it's all great, but if you're not behind closed doors, if you're not doing
the work, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I do really think, I don't know if I ever sat and was like, what's my toxic trait? I don't think I did it that, because sometimes I don't think a lot of things we realize about ourselves takes a deep someone that's really doing like a lot of self-development. But I feel like the therapy is like makes you ask questions, that you realize why you do things. So if I didn't know at the time, there's some book called being like parented by immature parents. So and then it basically breaks down the reason why being parented by emotionally immature parents. So then it will give you reasons why you do certain things. So I was like, okay, this is why I did this, because I was parented by an emotionally immature parent.
Okay.
So that's why maybe I act this way or I act that way or I do. So then it kind of made me see the things that I do. And that's why I'm saying I wouldn't necessarily be, okay.
It should be front line in the motive.
Up front, yeah.
Yeah. She'll be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to afternoon tea with the girls.
Yeah.
Like she enjoyed. I'm gonna have to eat fish with it. Like she's like, and I kind of like that in a sense where, and if I said to you on the way here, like she's just like, she can be in any environment. She ain't trying to switch up. Oh, hi.
Yeah.
She's you hear African accent. You know what I mean? You hear how she, and she'll just dress how she wants to dress.
Yeah.
She ain't trying to like like if she's going to Parliament, she's not trying to do like wear some thing that's not her.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of admire that. I guess I wish I was like that. Well, I hope I become like that at some point. But yeah, but it's interesting that when you just think of your parents and what did you learn from them. I mean, toxic things. Well, we ain't gonna go into that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. You know what I mean? I don't want
wanna-
to. I don't think. I'm saying she didn't have
I'll
any,
leave
but I don't know of any. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if-
I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I feel like it's so deep because there's not everything you're gonna realize that you get from your parents. Because sometimes it's like me, I don't know all traits, but there's some that I can clearly see that. Yep, this is from my mom. This is from my dad. Do you get it? But there's just now I'm just like, even the thing of like things that you went through as a child, understanding that just because I felt that way doesn't mean my child will. Like I had this thing of like, oh, I don't want him to feel like he's alone. He knows he's not alone. I'm always there.
I think even just on a last point to wrap up,
Yeah.
even things like, I know we were talking about, okay, what traits did you get? But even looking at things from, okay, what are there any mental illnesses in my family? Any mental issues I should know? Because sometimes, again, maybe because I don't know, sometimes our parents didn't do the checks, or they just must guess, oh yeah, I'm fine. But like, I don't think for my family there was any mental illness or mental health issues from what I know of. Is that you know about you? If there's any like mental health, well, obviously if you want to disclose, I'm not trying to.
I think
like that.
I don't really know what they went through personally, but I don't know. I think my dad was one of those people that just didn't. I've never seen him cry before. He wasn't really emotionless. Like he was always happy and kind of joking around. Like he was a bit of a sarcastic guy. Like I think he convinced me one time to try and support Man United.
Yeah.
And then I think he would always want to leave church early because of the football game.
Missing half the service, But but I don't. I mean, do you feel, obviously anything that you don't want to disclose?
I've got ADHD. I feel like my mum definitely had ADHD and didn't
What
know.
is that? What's that? Attention deficit?
Yeah.
No, attention. I don't know.
So it's attention. Well, they've changed it now. I think it's attention deficit disorder, but it's ADD. But they've changed because it used to be attention deficit hyperactive disorder. But I feel like
I can bleep that out, by the way. If you don't, I don't know.
No attention. I think so.
So you
have
to
it?
clap it or?
Oh no, yeah. So I have no, that's fine.
Okay.
No,
cool.
yeah. But I feel like I'm realizing that my mum probably had it.
Okay.
Definitely. Like, I just know the way she was with her emotions and certain things, but she wasn't able to, and I think she did suffer with her mental health in terms of like depression and stuff like that. I definitely, now being older and seeing how she used to act and things she used to do, and obviously to me, she used to smoke weed to just medicate herself. I
can believe that.
No. Everyone knows, but to self-medicate. I feel like that's what she did. So to keep her calm and so now I think it makes sense.
But so what do you do for yourself to like I guess manage that?
I feel like I said, I got therapy. Therapy is like I feel like everyone's always like, oh, do you always talk about? I'm such an advocate. Like if it could be free on I know some people can get it free. I wish it was free on the NHS, and this is something that we could all go and.
I think because I had therapy like a while back, but it was like I had like 6 sessions.
I think they give a certain amount of sessions. Right?
I think that's maybe it's free up to 6, and then after.
Okay, pay for it.
Know,
I think it's like that's what helped. Like in terms of just that releases a lot of my anxiety. I feel like I get a lot of anxiety, so therapy has really helped. I got an ADHD coach as well.
Oh, right, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Is that separate to therapy?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Financially, those are all different. I don't do it. I haven't done it recently, but I did have it in the beginning of. So I feel like that really helped me just like with coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
I'm still in the process of getting like the full diagnosis, so I'm not on any medication, and I don't know if I ever will feel like I need medication.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel from therapy it's enough for me. But like I'm saying, I just feel like therapy is just, that's a life-changing thing that really helped me go deep into why I do things and break it down in that
Yeah,
way.
you give yourself the proper audit, boys. Check in with your, like, you just proper make sure, look, down to the root. Okay, what are my issues? How can I deal with them? And you're proactive. You seem like you're proactive about it as well.
I feel like because it really affects things. Do you get it?
Yeah.
If you don't realize how much certain things that happened to you as a child or relationship break that has affected you until you start going into other things and you're like, oh my gosh, like it's coming up. And then when the same patterns are coming up, then it's like, okay, it's time to just try and sort these out, isn't it?
No, that's good. I think it's we need, I mean, we're the only ones that can do it to ourselves. We need to make sure we're good, man. I know, like, because with this podcast, of course, like we always want to talk about grief and mental health. That's always going to be our thing, but obviously from many different, like, what we do is from many different perspectives. So like today, obviously, now I can explain when I mentioned what it's about, like motherhood and mental health. That's what I kind of meant. I'm sure now you kind of gathered.
Yeah.
So just like even our previous episode when we were speaking about like, like money and mental health, and just things like, okay, like managing debt, doing this, trying to make sure, like, you know what I mean. And it's so like there's so many different things. And that's what we try to do, to tell people. There's so many different things that can affect you mentally. So we always want to have those conversations, and somehow tie it. Well, most things are kind of
interlinked
with mental health. So I guess you could say in some respect we can talk about most things, but that's usually the main thing. Even grief and mental health. But that's as we know, like, do you know what I mean? There's so many different things that you go through, like, like, and I feel like even just with grief, I was like, nah, it's actually it can actually affect you. Yeah, it affects you mentally, but even physically as well. Like,